come Sunday, the country is expected to hear the date of its 18th general election since 44. And we are hearing, you just heard the JLP ad, speaking of halfway tree. But I'm now learning that the PNP is having a mass rally in Crossroads on Sunday as well. Well, if you know Crossroads and Halfway Tree, it's within no more than a 2-mile geographical area. And based on the level of mobilization taking place, you're talking about anywhere between the two mass rallies of the two major parties, anywhere between 80 and 100,000 people will be on the streets of this 2 geographical square mile area from Sunday afternoon to Sunday night. And given the level of political tension in the country, especially in parts of Kingston and St. Andrew, how come we are here? This is courting disaster. And I'm making not an alarm, but I think the Jamaica Constabulary Force owes us an explanation, because it is the Jamaica Constabulary Force who has the absolute discretion and power to grant the political parties permission to hold mass meetings. I just don't understand it, or there's something that we don't know. But just imagine the comrades and the labor rights driving, walking, riding into Halfway Tree and Crossroads. They must cross paths. Yeah? Both parties are going to be focused on cramming, because part of the electioneering is the optics, who can pull the bigger crowd. And everybody going to be decked out in them orange and green. This must have been a mistake. How are we going to manage that in such a small area of the corporate area come Sunday? Am I being alarmist? Tell me. Am I being stupid? But in all my years of covering meetings and watching this, I can't recall a mass meeting of these proportions in this kind of environment within 1.5 miles of each other. Unless we have become all Bible-toting political activists now, where we will put up our Bibles and say, "Oh, how are you, Labourite? How are you, my comrade?" And we go on our way. I don't think so. We are going to be having a discussion later in our cover story with the police on this matter, because clearly they know something about crowd control, and even if you can control the crowd at both locations, I think the real danger is going to be when the political party supporters cross paths, getting into Crossroads and the Halfway Tree, and coming out of Halfway Tree and Crossroads later when the meeting done. It's 25 minutes after 10. Now, the Labour Party has summoned their central executive to their Belmont Road headquarters for this Saturday, August 9, And that meeting is expected to deal with several housekeeping matters and deliver a final charge to the Labourites and their standard bearers. Yeah? That is in anticipation of the meeting on Sunday. And based on what the Prime Minister said in East Rural St. Andrew earlier this week, it seems as if Sunday is a date for the elections to be called.
Family, the time is drawing near. My Jamaican people, you have a strategic government, a disciplined government, a government that does things systematically and in order. We don't believe in chaka chaka, and we never, ever, ever, ever look chaka chaka. When I put my hand out to you to shake it, you don't have to think twice. You can take my hand. You know that we are clean-hearted and clean hands, and we bring clean words to you. And we give you knowledge and information on which you can make a decision.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness earlier this week giving a clear hint that he's about to announce the date of the general elections. At the same time, the chairman of his campaign committee, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says the Jamaican voters should ignore the claim from the opposition leader Mark Golding that he is the man to rescue Jamaica from the JLP.
I hear the leader of the opposition, Golding, talking about rescuing Jamaica. I have to shake my head. To me, it is the most barefaced hypocrisy I have ever heard being meted out on the ears, the eyes, and the visuals of the Jamaican people. He also speaks about this ethical posture and positioning as if he's some paragon of virtue and ethics. And I want Jamaicans to be wary of those who come in the name of morals and ethics and who come to rescue when their track record speaks directly opposite to what now they are promising to do.
Chris Tufton, during a recent PNP meeting in Westmoreland, Mark Golding said he's a man on a mission to rescue Jamaica from poverty, rebuild trust, and institute principled leadership. But while addressing a JLP meeting in Northwest Clarendon earlier this week, Tufton dismissed Golding's assertions. He says Jamaica was rescued from as far back as 2016, when the Andrew Holness-led JLP booted the Simsimilla administration from office.
The reality is that if anybody has rescued Jamaicans and more Jamaicans than any other time, it is this Jamaica Labour Party government under Andrew Holness. We reduce poverty, we impose no new taxes, we bring down crime, we restore more health centers, we add more doctors and nurses, we provide more medication under the National Health Fund than any time before under any other government, certainly better than under any PNP administration.
That is Chris Tufton. Also from the political platform this weekend, this past few days, the West Portland MP Darrell Vaz condemned Mark Golding for allowing the two-time convict Isaac Buchanan to bring remarks on his behalf yesterday at the Independence Day parade in Port Antonio Square.
The other thing that was very sad for me as a Jamaican, and I suspect this is probably the first time, and that is the fact that we had a two-time convicted felon reading the opposition leader's independence message. I think it's a sad day. I think it's the first time in 63 years it has happened, and it is a sad, sad day that we would allow, or any political party would allow a two-time convicted felon to run on a ticket. Regardless of what they say, I just find it to be something that is hard for me to deal with.
Darrell Vaz. Well, of course, Isaac Buchanan, the PNP's presumptive candidate for East Portland in the upcoming general elections, has been convicted twice for drug-related offenses in Jamaica and the United States. The Jamaican conviction has since been expunged. But according to Vaz, the matter brings into question the moral authority of Mark Golding to make pronouncements on impeachment proceedings for parliamentarians?
I would say that it's something that you will have to look at, because when you talk about impeachment, the opposition talking about impeachment of MPs. How do you get there to have the morality to talk about impeachment when you have endorsed a two-time convict to run a seat with the hope of going to Parliament? It smacks of hypocrisy. And once again, I say to Jamaica that calm drum, but calm the fool. Choose Jamaica. Choose what is right.
Daryl Vaz. Well, we're going to leave it there for the moment and go to the calls. At 11 this morning, I have a special guest, the CEO of the Amber Group of Companies, Dushan Savadia. And Mr. Savadia will be telling us about the new Revo app, Revo, powered by Nationwide, that we have been telling you about for some time. Yeah, it's Revo AI, powered by Nationwide. And we want you to make sure you take a look and a listen. All right, that's at 11 this morning.